What's going on, guys? This is Goof Duck Adventures. My name is your host, Remy, and I have this lovely guest right beside me. Her name is Aly. Say hi to the crowd. You're gonna say hi
Hi,
to people?
crowd.
All right. So, guys, the reason why I'm doing this is because I'm starting something new. Uh, Pretty much what we're doing is on my side, I get to interview people who work for the theme parks, talk about them, and I do this for fun and let them know where they first started, how they first started, where was their first job at the theme park, and we'll just go from there. So, tell me which ride did you first start working on?
Kraken
Kraken.
at SeaWorld.
Yeah. How many years did you work at Kraken for?
Like 6 months,
Why'd you only work for 6 months?
because then I got a job at Universal.
Yeah, yeah, but the thing is, here's the thing. You worked at Kraken, right? So was the theming there a little bit different than is
There was
till
really
today?
no theming. Kraken, SeaWorld's different. They don't really have a theme per se going on with the ride.
Right.
There was really no theming. I loved SeaWorld. I loved the ride itself. It was a great experience doing the coaster.
So let me ask you
But
this.
where I really wanted to work was Universal. And so I went and I got experience with SeaWorld, and then when I got hired with Universal, I
Well, let me ask you this. So when you worked at Kraken, what exactly did you do at Kraken?
I did the coaster. I mean, I
Well,
did.
no, I know
I
you
mean,
did
what
the
do you mean?
coaster.
What's the? You got to be more specific.
What's the routine like at Kraken?
Oh, I mean,
Where you first start until you go into, you go from this position, this position, this position, and then the last position you go to.
this was back in 2005, so I can't really tell you a whole lot. But I mean, I don't remember the position to the position to the position. I know. I mean, you used to work for Kraken.
Well, let me ask you this:
But-
did they have a greater position?
Of course, there was
Okay.
a greeter position. There was a load position. A few load positions. There was controls. I never was controls trained
Why weren't you in controls?
because I never stayed there long enough.
That's not a priority though. You have to be in controls in order for you to, work
Back
at a
then,
roller
no.
coaster.
Back then, no. I don't know about now, but even then, Universal's the same way. You don't get controls trained right off the bat.
That's
Disney's
true.
the only one that controls trained right off the bat.
That is very true. But however, you gotta wait until a certain amount of months to be into the control room once you work at Universal.
So Universal, I was an attractions attendant for 7 years at Universal. I left SeaWorld, I went to Universal, and I got a job, and I started out at Dr. Doom's Fearfall.
Tell me that experience besides working at SeaWorld. Tell me about your whole experience working at Universal.
I loved Universal. I still love it to this day. I mean, I've currently, obviously, this year I left Universal.
I know.
But you got to remember, working theme parks since I was 18, and I'm going to be 33 now this year.
Yeah.
So, I needed to take a break. But yeah, no, I did attractions for 7 years.
Right.
From, what was it, 2005 to 2012.
Okay. Yeah.
I probably would have. I left because of having children, but I mean, I probably still wouldn't. I would have been there.
Would you ever go back?
I don't know because I'm currently wanting to start my own business. So I mean, I really don't know.
Guys, if you're out there, she is actually a great artist. She makes these wonderful, wonderful little miniature trees right now with little beads on them. It's actually really well done, and her paintings are really well
Well,
too.
maybe you could share
I
them to your
like
group
them.
one day.
I will. So guys,
So
let's go back to when she was still working at Universal, like 7 years ago. So she worked at Doom. You worked at Mummy, right?
I did Doom and Storm because over at Universal, when you're doing Doom, you have to do Storm as well. So you're cross trained.
But now it's different because now you're cross trained with Hulk and Storm, so you have to be cross trained there as well.
Could not tell you that. I don't know that part, but I know it was Doom and Storm. This was, back from. I was at Doom and Storm from 05 to 06. I transferred in 06 over to Ripsaw.
That's 14 years ago.
A long time ago, yes.
Dear God.
I transferred like I said, to Ripsaw Falls, and I really enjoyed Ripsaw. Ripsaw was a very good opportunity to be there. It was a water ride, always.
Love it.
I became a trainer. It was a very good experience to train people. Back then we called it boot camp. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, we did. Well, because at Ripsaw, not at Ripsaw, we were Canadian Mounties. So, when they're going through the training, we would just call it boot camp because it was kind of like
a boot.
Yes, a boot. No, it was a good experience. The crazy part sometimes would be because Ripsaw has a tendency to go down a lot, and when Ripsaw goes down, like if they e-stop, which if none of you know what e-stop is, it's emergency stop.
So pretty much when a ride stops, we got to hit a certain big red button. So in other terms, like say, like for example, if somebody jumps out of the boat, you got to press that e-stop right away. And that will just stop.
Or if like something, not engine, what's the word I'm looking for? Like,
well, an incident.
If an incident, like if there's smoke or if there's anything, you're going to want to press the e-stop. For obviously just emergencies only.
All right,
if you press an emergency stop button for no emergency, you're going to get in trouble.
Okay, so what if a sensor bar goes out? What do you do then?
If a sensor went out?
If one of the sensors went out on the rise, which button do you hit? You only hit the emergency stop, or do you hit the emergency stop?
If a sensor went out, I don't remember, to be honest with you. I know if a camera went out, that's a big issue.
Yeah, but you know how those cameras are. They go out every once in a while.
They do go out, and that's a big issue. I don't think I had an issue with a sensor going out. I was controls trained there. I've had issues with jumpers. If you don't know what jumpers are people that decide that
with a jump off the
they
ride.
want to get off in certain places of the ride when things happen. Like if the ride backs up, if they're not moving, if they're stopped for a while, some people will try to like pry themselves out of a lap bar and they'll get out on the side. And once someone in control sees that, they will depress the e-stop because that is a big safety right there.
Right.
So I've had issues before where people have done that, and I've had to e-stop, and get them. Most of the time, if you ever do that, you will be trespassed from the
park.
From the park. They don't play with safety.
And you can be banned. You can be banned for up to a year or more.
Yeah. So it just depends on what you've done. Now, as I was saying before, with Ripsaw, they go down a lot, or they used to. I don't know quite if they do it now, but no. I know when I was there, we would go down. There would be times where we'd go down maybe sometimes 3 times a day. And the thing about Ripsaw is when it e-stops, it's not one of those rides that you're able to e-stop the ride and reset and come back up. Some rides are like that. Ripsaw's not.
Nope.
Ripsaw, you e-stop, the water drains, and that's an automatic evac.
So guys, it's similar to Popeye as well. If you guys have not been on Popeye is a tube ride. So it's the same thing, what happens over there. You hit the e-stop, that water drains out right away as well.
Right, the water will drain, and it's an automatic evac. And now with Ripsaw, I can't remember Bluedoze, but I know Bluedoze is a longer process. Ripsaw takes probably about like 45 minutes because you got to think, once it's e-stopped, then everybody has to go and run to their areas. They have to lock out, tag out. Lock out, tag out is a very big, important process to evacing. If you do not lock out, tag out, and you go in that area, I mean, you're talking safety violations, you can get fired. I mean, there's a lot. Because lock out, tag out, it tells the people in controls, it tells the maintenance, it tells everyone, hey, there's somebody in this part of the ride. We cannot start at the ride if that person's key is not back and that lock is off the...
Yeah.
So, so we all would, we grab our stuff, we go, we evac, and then we come back, and then it takes, with Ripsaw, they have to refill the water. So between evacing and then refilling the water, it can take up to 45 minutes.
So, let's go. So we'll go back after Ripsaw. What other rides did you work at Universal besides those 2 rides? You work at any other rides on the Universal side?
Yes, I transferred after about 2.5 some odd years, maybe 3. No, 2.5. I don't know. I transferred over to the Mummy.
Awesome ride, by the way.
I did Mummy for, the remainder of my years before I quit.
I actually was rescued over at Mummy for a while when I was working at Neutron. It was weird because all there was grouping the entire time.
Mummy is definitely good experience. Mummy is it's a dark ride. It's also a coaster. Obviously, there is no loops and things like that in there.
I wish they had loops in that ride.
Yeah, but I love the aspects of Mummy. I love the theme. Now, my favorite thing to always do, working out at Universal and being attractions attendant. No, yeah, that was fun. But no, my favorite thing was to the theme. I loved the theme, and so like Ripsaw, for instance, when I themed there, I was always taking a little stick horse, and I was riding around waving a Canadian flag. Welcome to Canada, stuff like that. But
too bad you guys were passing out bacon out there too.
But no, at Mummy, it was a lot more different in their theme because obviously, like, you're more dark there. You had 2 themes to Mummy. You could either be
Happy?
No, you had 2 themes. You could either be fearful, because you got to remember the movie The Mummy was based off of Lord Emotep.
Yep.
And so of course, what we were at the Mummy, we were Lord Emotep's minions. We were his like henchmen, type thing.
Walk.
So we had 2 roles we could be, and when it came to theming, we could either be fearful, which fearful is like timid. Hey guys, come on, let's go. We gotta go. Come on, keep going. We gotta get out of here. So things like that. And the other one was we could be loyal. I played the loyal one all the time. I never was fearful. I was always the loyal one because it was a lot more fun to play. Having the dark makeup, we were allowed to do makeup as long as we took it off when we went out to areas like Greeter and Unload, because that was a completely different a completely different theme to the ride itself as well, which I'll get into that. But the loyal one is where you're just quiet unless somebody asks you a question, but normally you would just be quiet, or you'll come up to somebody, like take Remy here for instance. I'll walk up to him and I'll stare like this, and I'll look, and I'll go, and I'll walk away. We could do stuff like that. We can be very, sometimes people got a little too carried away. I did once. I scared a kid half to death and got yelled at by the mom. Yes, I did. Got yelled at by a mom. I never did that again. I never got in trouble for it because I was theming, but I should have had the common sense. I should have had the common sense to be like, well, this is a small kid, I shouldn't have. But I got too into it.
Yeah.
But, it was a lot of fun. I loved the theme aspect. Now, the other theme to Mummy, aside from those 2, is being a production assistant. At Unload or Greeter, you're in a completely different costume. Well, you're in the same costume, but you don't have the tunic on. You have a different hat and you don't have the tunic on. But you are a production assistant. So basically, you're welcoming everyone. Hey, welcome to the set, this and that. Not realizing that inside it's turned into Emotep's lair kind of thing. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think it was one of my favorites up until I left the company. And then, of course, I returned back to the company a few years later. But I decided to obviously do food, which was a really interesting thing in itself.
Guys, I just want to point out there, food is the worst. Don't work in food and beverages. Please don't. I mean, if you guys want to work in a restaurant at Universal or Disney, please do. But if you guys are going to work at food and beverages outside stands at Universal, don't. Just don't. It's too hot.
I mean, I worked in a restaurant, but it's I don't like foods. I mean, I was a trainer, but it wasn't something that I truly had any passion towards. I really didn't like
Right.
it. And I'm a firm believer that if you're not happy, you need to find something that's going to make you happy, which is why I left foods after 2
Yeah.
years and I went back to attractions. And
See, guys, attractions is where to be. If you come close to certain friends who work at attractions, they can put you on a ride like that without any weight. I mean, it's pretty cool because I know some people at Disney still, and they're like, Remy, what are you doing? I'm like, what? What's up? I need to go through the red line? No. You follow me. Okay, cool. So I'm like, where am I going?
Like, I mean, it felt like home to me. That's why I went back, because attractions is where I started. I mean, you gotta remember, I was 18 years old.
And see, that's why that's why we call our first attractions homes. They are our home. So, what we got going on?
Does what happen a lot?
Oh, well, what do you mean? What happens a lot? You mean a ride going down, or
Skylar.
what's Skylar saying?
Saying, does it happen a lot? I'm not sure.
Well, oh, maybe the ride going down. Maybe that.
Oh, rides go down?
Yeah, rides go down all the time. But the thing is that some rides. See, there's a term at Disney. It's called
rocket. For instance.
Rocket goes down a lot.
Rickety rocket.
Crappity rocket. Oh, here's a story I forgot to tell. So, guys, I worked at Color Vision, which is the photo company, and this is when Rocket was just opening up. This first in the morning. They were testing the rides out, and of course they ask us, if we can test out for a ride. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I'm staying on here. So all of a sudden, we hear the train coming back from the station. We hear this loud thump sound on the roof. Yeah, one of the wheels popped off the ride.
I don't know anything about that, but what I do know, yes, rides can go down. Definitely for any and every little thing. I mean, and sometimes it's not even anything. I mean, obviously outside rides will go down a lot for weather.
Yep.
Or if there are sensor issues in some rides, and it can stop the ride on its own. Sometimes it will just ride stop by itself. I mean, and then of course they have to fix it. I mean, it goes down. Think of it like this, okay? A lot of people get mad and they say, well, they should have made this ride better. They should have checked it before they started. And you got to understand that there is ride techs there for each attraction every day, 24/7. There is never not a ride tech at that ride. They're always checking, they're always fixing, they're always doing what they need to do.
Yeah.
Even at night, there is a night staff.
Oh yeah.
They're there to check everything and test everything throughout the whole night. Think of it like a car, though, okay? It's a giant-ass car. That is what it basically is. It is mechanical. Mechanical stuff breaks down. No matter how much you maintain it, it will break down. Things happen,
Oh yeah,
but
things
it's what
do happen.
It's exactly. You cannot expect for a ride. You can't expect the ride to be great 24/7.
What's your favorite ride to get stuck on?
I really haven't been stuck on too many rides. I got stuck on Ripsaw once. I was doing a ride
cool.
through. I was doing a ride through at the end of the day, and I got stuck. And I was mad because after 7 minutes they're supposed to evacuate you. And I was on the ride vehicle for 20 minutes. No, 20 minutes.
Huh.
And I just remember I was by a camera and I was sitting there pointing at I have a watch on. I'm like, it's been 7 minutes, it's been 10 minutes, and no one was doing anything. So
Maybe
finally, though, they got the ride started and they got me through. But it was just the point that I was just sitting there doing nothing.
Do you have a
and I don't
control
like
on?
sitting there. No.
Guys, she got soaked, so there you go.
It was the end of the day. I was going to change anyway. We have wardrobe. But, no, so I mean, things happen.
It does.
I don't think I've ever really been stuck, though, on any other. It's been a long time.
So after Ripsaw, after Mummy, after Universal, did you ever work for the mouse?
During, actually. I've worked for Disney 3 times, actually, in the last, how many years? Since 2005?
Yeah, roughly.
Okay, so this is how my theme park days went. I worked SeaWorld.
Yep.
For about 6 months.
Okay.
Left them, got a job with Universal. During my time at Universal, the 7 years I worked at Universal, I also worked for Disney twice. So when I got my job at Universal in 2005, it was the ending of 2005. The next year, in 2006, I got a job with Disney, so I was working Disney and Universal.
Mm-hmm.
I was at Disney doing merchandise for 2 years. First I was part-time, and then I dropped down to seasonal about a year later. So I did that 2 years. And then I left the company, not Universal, but Disney. I left Disney. Did a few other things that I wanted to try out. And then I went back with Disney back in 2011. And I worked there about a year doing a seater position over at Liberty Tree Tavern.
Nice.
And Liberty Tree Tavern, if you don't know where that's at, it's in Magic Kingdom.
Right next.
Really good food.
Right next to Haunted Mansion, which right now, unfortunately, Liberty Tavern is actually getting refurbished right now.
Is it?
Yeah. They're actually. When I went there yesterday with my friend Evan, who's also the co-host of this blog, who's actually not on right now. But anyway, we were walking over to Haunted Mansion, and Liberty Tavern is getting refurbished. Like they're actually making it
Liberty Tree Tavern.
Yeah, close enough. But they are making it a lot bigger. So it's pretty cool.
That's cool. I mean, they have really good food.
Oh,
I really enjoyed their food.
Especially their burger there. Oh god.
So with the position that I was working there for the year,
right.
It's a seater position, which is kind of like a hostess position, but you do more than just host. You not only take reservations and sit people down, you also greet people outside. You also clean the tables, basically. You don't take the trays back, but you just clean the tables, set everything that's dirty onto a tray, and the servers take it back.
Right.
And then you restock the areas that the drink areas for the servers. So.
Right.
I did that for a year, but during my I want to say it was 5 months after. No, I don't know. I had gotten pregnant, so I as my pregnancy progressed, I ended up leaving about 4 months before I gave birth.
Oh wow.
I want to say. So it got harder and harder to be able to carry heavy trays, and I didn't want to take a risk with my baby. So I left Disney. That was like I said, the second time I'd worked for them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last time I worked for them was last year. Last year, while I was working for Universal, I got a job with Disney a third time. This time I didn't want to go to the parks, so I went and got a job at at one of the hotels.
Oh yeah.
And I never can remember the name of this hotel every time in my head.
Hold on, I'm thinking too.
Oh, Port Orleans Riverside.
Yes.
And
that is...
I got a job at Port Orleans Riverside, and I was in the food court doing all of the areas of the food court. We didn't cook, but
And guys, that is where I actually proposed to my wife. I proposed to her at Riverside.
So yeah, it was an interesting experience. I wasn't there that long, to be honest with you, though. I was there for maybe a month because I ended up having to go on a medical leave for some personal issues that I had. I was on a medical leave from Disney and Universal for 4.5 months, and then when I came off of a medical leave, I decided to just leave Disney in a whole and stay with just Universal, just because I needed less stress in my life. So, and there was too much stress going on between 2 jobs, and I wasn't getting the right amount of sleep or rest that I needed. So,
right.
I think, like, honestly, though, I probably would have transferred, just because food is really not where I want to be in life. I would have actually loved to have done PhotoPass, just because I plan on having my own photography business in 6 months.
And you love taking pictures.
I've worked 3 photography jobs, in years. So, so I would really, I would have loved to have that experience, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I've had good experiences with the 3 photography jobs that I have done, and I know that's enough to help me start out a business of my own. So,
all right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, this has been Aly. So we've been together for how long? How long have we known each other?
We've known each other since like 2015.
So 4 years?
No. Yeah.
About 4 years.
2015.
Yeah. So 4 years of great friendship, guys. So anyway, guys.
He literally just messaged me on Facebook.
Well, see, guys, this is what I like doing about, being a new blogger. I love interviewing people who worked at the theme parks. And guys, on Saturday, I will be at a poker tournament, and I will also might be at the Kennedy Space Center on Saturday. So guys, from Goof Duck Adventures with my friend Aly, who's awesome. Be well.
A for awesome! Yay!
So guys, be well, be safe, and adventure on. Peace out.
A-Town. What?